Right, Algebra 2, Lesson 2.5, Absolute Value Functions and Graphs. Right, our objective is to learn how to graph absolute value functions. Okay, let's recall from Algebra 1, right, slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form. Right, remember this equation, y is equal to mx plus b. Right. Well, the x variable, if it is enclosed inside an absolute value, right, it becomes an absolute value equation or function. Okay. And notice here an absolute value equation, right, it looks exactly like slope-intercept form, right. The only addition is the absolute value bars and also this variable c. Okay, and also this variable c. But basically, it's almost like the same thing. Okay. Now, what we're gonna do is the first thing when you're graphing an absolute value function or equation, the most important thing to find is the vertex. Okay, the vertex. Now, an absolute value equation looks like a V. It will either look like a V like this or an upside down V. Okay, it should either look like this or like this. Okay, and I'll explain what determines if it looks like a V or an upside down V in a moment. Right? But this point in the middle, right, the point in the middle right here, it's called the vertex. Right, this is called the vertex of the graph. Now, to find the vertex of the graph, you use this formula right here. To find the x value of the vertex, right, it's a negative b over m. To find the y value of the vertex, right, it's the c value in the equation, right, or this number outside here. All right. Now, so let's say we have an equation, for example, y is equal to absolute value 2x minus 1 right, plus 3. Right? Now, we're going to find the vertex, right, of this absolute value equation. We're going to use this formula right here. Right? It always has a negative because that's in the equation. Okay? Negative b over m. Now, b in this case is negative 1. Okay? So b is negative 1 right, over right, 2. Right, m is the number in front of x. Now negative negative give you positive, right? So you're going to end up with positive 1/2. And then our c value was this number outside here, so it's 3. So we know our vertex for this absolute value equation would be 1/2, right, and 3. Right, and then we would plot that on a graph. Okay? Let's try another one real quick. Let's say we have y is equal to absolute value 3x plus 4 minus 1. Well, let's find the vertex again. That's the first step. So it's negative b. B in this case is 4 over m, which is 3. Right? And then our c value would be negative 1. That's it. All right. Let's try another one. How about what if we have y is equal to 2x minus 2. Okay. Well, let's find our vertex. Well, we're going to have, actually, let me make this proper so I have an equal sign. So our vertex, we have negative b. B is negative 2 in this case, over m. M is 2. Okay. And negative give you positive, so that'll become positive 1. Right. And then our c value, now do we have a number outside here? Nope. So our c value is 0. Right. So the vertex for this absolute value equation would be 1 and 0. Okay. Now, to find, right, let's graph this right here. Well, we need to find the vertex first. To find the vertex, right, negative b, which is 12, over m, which is 3, Right, no number outside here, so C is 0. Right, simplify this, so we get negative 4, 0. So let's plot negative 4, 0. Negative 4, 0 is right there. There's our vertex. Okay, there's our vertex. Now, the next thing we do is make an XY chart. Okay, so you have an XY chart. Now, what you want to do is you want to plot at least 2 points to the right or to the left of where the vertex is at. So here's the vertex at negative 4. So usually I would use the 2 to the right or the 2 to the left. It doesn't make a difference. Alright, so for me, I would use negative 3 and negative 2. So let's say I'm going to find out if x is negative 3, I'm going to figure out what y is. And then when x is negative 2, I'm going to figure out what y is. Alright, and in order to figure out what y is, all we're going to do is we're going to take x and plug it back in the problem. Right? So the equation, we have y is equal to the absolute value 3x plus 12. So we're going to take x and we're going to plug it in here. So we're going to have y is equal to the absolute value of 3 times negative 3 plus 12. And just work this out. So we're going to get negative 9. Negative 9 plus 12. Right, it's going to give us 3. The absolute value of 3 is 3. So y is going to equal 3. Alright, so when x is negative 3, y will be positive 3. We're going to do the same thing for negative 2 now. So when y is equal to the absolute value of 3 times negative 2 plus 12. We're going to simplify this. We're going to get the absolute value of negative 6 plus 12. Alright, so y is going to equal 6. Alright, so we're going to plot these points now. So when x is negative 3, y is 3. When x is negative 2, y is 6. Right? And then you're going to connect. Right? Make a line. Connect the points and make a line. Right? Now remember, I told you before, an absolute value function looks like a v. So to find the left side of the v, you don't really need to plot. We're not going to need to plot negative 5 and negative 6 because an absolute value function is symmetrical. Okay, it's symmetrical. So all you're going to have to do is copy the points from the right. And what do I mean by copy? I mean, here's the vertex. You move 1 to the right, and then you go up 3. That means you can move 1 to the left and go up 3 also. You move 2 to the right from the vertex, and you go up 6. That means you can move 2 to the left from the vertex and go up 6 again. And then there you go. You've got the left side, right, of your absolute value function, and all you have to do is make a line, and you're set. That's it. All right. Now, why is this? Why does the absolute value function look this way? Why is it like a V? And why is it not upside down like this? Okay. Well, if you take a look in front of the absolute value bars, right? If there's no negative sign, your graph should always look like a V. Right? When you have an equation such as this, when there's a negative sign in front of the absolute value, right? When there's a negative sign in front of the absolute value, then that's when it should look like an upside down V. Right? That's when it looks like an upside down V. Okay. All right. So let's graph this equation right here. All right. 1b. All right. 1b. Since it has a negative sign right here, let's do something different. Okay. So I'm graphing 1b right here. So 1b. This problem right here, we have y is equal to negative absolute value x plus 1. Right? And that's a minus 2. Okay, first thing we're going to find the vertex. To find the vertex, right, you recall it's negative b, which is 1, over m, which is the number in front of x. In this case, it would be 1. And our c value in this case is negative 2. So our vertex is going to be negative 1 and negative 2. So let's plot the vertex. Our vertex, negative 1 and negative 2. Here's our vertex right there. Now remember, we're going to make our XY chart. Right? XY. Now, here's our vertex. So remember, you always want to plot either 2 to the left or 2 to the right. Alright, it doesn't make a difference. If you do it correctly, you should get the same graph. So if I plot 2 to the right, well, I'm going to be, if we're at -1 here for the vertex, alright, the x values I'm going to use is 0 and 1. So 0 and 1. So what I'm going to do next, right, I'm going to plug it in our original problem right here. Okay, so I have y is equal to negative absolute value 0 plus 1, right, minus 2. So simplify this, right, follow the order of operations. 0 plus 1 is 1, the absolute value of 1 is 1, and then you have the negative in front right here, so then it becomes negative, then you have minus 2, so y is going to equal -3. Alright, let's plug in 1 right here. So y is equal to negative absolute value 1 plus 1 minus 2. 1 plus 1, right, gives you 2. Absolute value of 2 is 2. Then the negative makes this 2 negative. You have minus 2. So y is going to equal -4. Now let's plot the points. Right, 0 and -3. So when x is 0, right, y is going to be -3. When x is 1, y is going to be -4. Okay? And then we're going to connect the points. There you go. Right, you can get it. And then we're going to copy the points on the left. Right? If we move 1 to the right from the vertex and down 1, we'll move 1 to the left and down 1. You move 2 to the right and down 2. You can move 2 to the left and down 2. Right? And then just connect, right, the points. Right, draw, right, a line. And that's it. And you notice, right, our graph makes sense because if there was a negative in front of the absolute value, it's supposed to be an upside down V, which is what we got, right? So you can always double check your answer to make sure, see if your graph makes sense with what the equation, right, looks like.